Welcome everyone. In this video, I'm going to explain you about typecasting. What actually typecasting means, or we can also call as type conversion. So type conversion means converting a particular type data type value into another type. So in Python, we have type conversion, some inbuilt method for explicit type conversion or implicit type conversion. So let's take a simple example. If I am taking a equal to 12 and b equal to 5.0 and c equal to a plus b. So when I will print c, you will see the output will be in float type. So Python interpreter automatically performs certain type conversion when it makes sense, such as converting integer to floats during arithmetic operation. So this is called an implicit conversion. Let's print the c value. See the output first. You can see it's printing 7.0. So Python internally interpreter makes some calculation based on integer type and the float type, and during that operation the Python interpreter is giving output as 17.0, which means it's float. So we have one more types of conversion is called explicit type conversion. You can convert different type using predefined function. We have such function like int, string, str, and the float. We'll see one by one each and every function and how the behavior of each data type works. Let's start with int first. First, I will comment this code. Now let's define some data type like a equal to 12 I have, and I will define a float. I will take first 5 all types of data type, but equal to 12.0. I'll take a dot bool equal to true. Now I'll take a string data type, command. Now finally I will take a complex data type a plus 5j. So I can do one thing here also, print type of a. I will print type of float, print type of bool, print type of string, and then finally print type of a underscore complex. Now let's execute the code, and what you will find is we are getting one by one that a12 value is int, float, then boolean type, string type, then complex type. Now we'll see we have this inbuilt function like int, comma, flo, float. We have complex function as well, that is inbuilt function. We have bool inbuilt function, and one more we have str. That is very important function. Wherever you have a string problem, we need to remember that which function when we need to use that function. Let's start with integer conversion. Suppose I want to convert the int value into float. So whether it actually possible or not. Okay. So in conversion to other data types, one by one we'll see with each. Suppose if it is int, we'll see with float behavior. We'll see complex, boolean, and the string. So let's take print integer to float. So I have value integer I want to convert into float. That's already I have a equal to 12. Let's pass if a float and I will pass your integer value a. Let's execute the code and I will comment this code as well, and I will make sure that I will keep my GitHub link in the description box. You can access this code later. So this is a, okay, it's showing error because I commented the data types. I will comment the print statements only. I can use these variables later in my codes. Now I will execute the code. So you can see the integer to float is 12.0. It's converting integer value into float, that is 12.0. That's it. Now let's see whether we can convert an integer into string or complex or bool, and what is the behavior. So I will write something, return 12.0 valid conversion. Let's print some print statement like integer to a string, int to a string, and let's see string function, and we want to use this, showing some error. Now execute the code, integer to a string value is, you can see a string into a string value is 12, so it is possible to convert an integer into a string data type also. Now let's see with complex, into complex conversion, and I will take a complex function. Inside it I will pass my value. So here just assume what will happen, because in complex we want two things, imaginary part and real part. So let's execute this code. You can see 12.0j. So it is possible to convert integer into complex data type, but what you will get is the integer value will be act as a real part and the imaginary will be 0j. So these are the valid conversion of integer. We have one more bool type. So I will take into bool type, and let's take bool dot a into bool type true. Why it's true? Because apart from zero value, everything will be act as the true. Let's take, I will give a -1 here. Now let's think whatever will happen. So you can see it's still it's true only, and let's give a 0 and see what's happening now. It's false. So except 0, everything will be act as a true value. So these are all the possible conversion of integer data type into another data type. Let's start with, let's take a float to other data type. Float to other data type conversion. We'll start with whether it's possible to convert the float into int or float into complex. Let's see one by one. So I will write print float to int, and let's take int a underscore float. We have already declared this variable before. You can see float is 12.0. Let's change the value as 15. Now execute the code and see what's happening here. Float to int is 15, so it is possible to convert the int. So similarly, you can try your own float to complex and other. The important thing I will point is whether it's possible to convert a complex data type to other or not. So let's start with complex to other data type conversion. I will take a First, I will try to convert a complex into integer or float. Okay, so I will write complex to integer int my underscore complex I will pass. So let's think for some time what it will return, because I want to convert integer data type, but in complex we have two parts, real and imaginary. Let's see. Int of complex. It doesn't it not printed anything till now. Why it's so? Because a plus 5j. 3 plus 5j. Let's print now. Still it's not printing anything. And you can see here int of complex argument must be integer, bytes a real number, not a complex number. So it is not possible to convert a complex value into integer, or similarly whether you want to convert into float or something, you will get error. And similarly if you want to convert a complex into a string, it is valid. Let's see how it's a valid. I will take a s equal to str of a underscore complex, and I will print s, and I will invalid conversion I will write here invalid conversion. Now you can see 3 plus 5j. It will be converted, but it will be add as a string only. Let's print type of is. You can see string. So whole thing will be whole complex value will be acts as a string value. Hope it is clear till now. Now let's see. Suppose we have a string and I want to convert into integer or float. So we have a string, and a string to integer is invalid because we can't convert a string value into integer. Let's print, we have print string to int conversion. So suppose we have a string a, how it will convert into something numerical value. So that's why string to int conversion is not possible, but I will try into underscore string, and I will try to execute the code. So you will observe here I'm getting some error. So invalidator for int with paste in Aman, because it's trying to convert this Aman string into a int, which is not possible anyhow. So I will write invalid conversion. Okay. Similarly, if you try with float. Okay. Now let's see. We'll see a complex to a string conversion. There is some interesting part in that. We'll see here. When I run this program, we can see complex to a string conversion. We are getting 2 plus 3j. Let's see the different behavior of a string now. I'm giving 0. So you can see it's printing only 3j. So when the real parts of complex number is 0, so by default a string will print only imaginary part. Apart from 0, if it is negative, it will print negative thing. So you can see negative. That's how we can convert a complex into a string data type. Now we will discuss, is it possible to convert any data type into a string? So answer is yes. You can convert any data type, Python data type, into string. Sorry, any data type into string. Yeah, I have some conversions here which I will explain you first. So this is this string to string. It is a string to a string. So let's print. So you can see it's printing 23 and it is string only. Now into string it is possible. Binary to string it is possible. And the float to string, it is possible. You can see there are complex to string, it's also possible. But wait, I need to explain one more thing. Is a strong bool equal to something true? Okay, I'm writing a strong bool into true, and here I am passing a bool. Let's see what's happening. It's true, and but it's string now. Okay, so these are the all conversions we have in Python. You can explore more. Make sure to like and subscribe the channel.